y'all. It is Wednesday morning, and we are here in Springfield, Missouri, and this is where we're staying. It's a bread and breakfast, and it's a haunted bread and breakfast. But we've never stayed in a bread and breakfast before, so this is new to us. I've heard that they're a lot better than the hotel, so we shall see. We are going in. See if we can check in. All right, so here is the room. This is supposed to be like the haunted room. Like the old lady comes to visit, supposedly, but it's really cool. Haunted or not, I mean, it's really cool. I like the looks of it, the wallpaper, the picture. Staff is really nice. It's really cool. Bed and breakfast. Like, here's the history of it. So that's really cool. The instructions. And touch of history about the place. And that's really cool. Places nearby. Nature trails. Don't use it. So they're saying don't light candles, which we don't do that, so we're good. So we don't light candles, so we're good. At least not in other people's houses. Our own house we do, but not in other people's houses. That's really cool. Nice picture of this. Really nice. Really cool setup in here. All right, and this is the living room stay. So there's like our mini fridge. I guess we share with the other rooms. If there's anybody else staying up here, there's this room, the McKinnon room. This is ours. Ours is the Rosen room. So they got that one in the McKinnon room. I think there's some more back there. But anyway, there you go. They got games. And then we go downstairs. Ooh, look at that. That's cool. Outside. Got a little walkway. But anyway, and downstairs. All right, we're here. We're at Lambert's. We're gonna eat at Lambert's. Angela has never ate here yet. I've eaten here once. And we got here early, so that way we wouldn't have to fight the crowd. Lambert's. All right, we already got some of our hot rolls. They throw the rolls here. Y'all, this is what we got. I got another roll, by the way. Really good. Alright, so we're up here. We're about to go into this cave. The cave.
Out in the plains, they'd hunt bison. Then they'd plant crops. After they harvested their crops, they'd go back to the big rivers north of Springfield. That's where they'd start setting up their big winter camp. Up here, the railroad ended at Rolla, and boy, things just kept getting worse. Vigilantes took over. Local bunch here became known as the Ball Doggers. You can read about them in London and New York newspapers. They was more famous than the Hatfields and McCoys, and they was rougher too. Anytime hillbilly there took a picture of some of the pioneers lined up on the other side. And that photo wound up being a full page of National
This is the big
Geographic
Civil War cave.
1923. Title of that article was Missouri, Mother of the West, only cave to mention that it was small and stable. I'm gonna have you two stand there, turn around and look at me. I'm gonna take the picture. When we get back up top, it's larger than life too. Now, Catherine, that's a picture of her when she was a little girl. This is their middle sister, and it was 16 years before Harriet was born. The little girl in the picture up there. Now, that's their daddy, their uncle, their mom, and their aunt in front of Disappointment up there. Now, Catherine, she knew the descendants of the Cherokees stayed in this cave before the Trail.
Pretty, and coming into that cave, that water's coming out. It's really cool. Flow stone. That's really cool.
Basically, we're standing inside a layer.
That's the outside of the cave from the inside, looking out. That's really neat.
There's a seashell there. Right there's a couple chunks of bone hanging out of our ceiling. Kind of neat to walk in the hill in the Ozarks, look around, find parts of ocean animals here and there.
Yeah. Right.
The left of it, there's an H, and right next to the H is where one of the four rollers is, and then the white stripe. 14 Cavalry Indian, and they come to the H, got in Ozark during the war. Now, up here we've got the name of the thing, it says small. Well, after small, there's an A, after the A, there's a Q. Well, up here,
Yeah, there is.
Nothing's
written on the If you look over there, there's footprints.
Anybody seen my dad? Anybody there? Well, that Indian ladder, there are petroglyphs, there's Indian drawings. Took me a few minutes, but I caught up to him and I got his picture. It's not very good. That's it right there. All I got was his eyeballs staring back at me there. By the time I got where he is in the picture, well, he was long gone.
That's cool.
When I come out of there, I noticed tracks was going in. Kind of gross, but cool. I don't care who you are. If you don't think that's cool, you probably don't have very many friends.
Organisms in the water.
He's been eating something.
All right, we're at the Bonbons Candy House. We're doing some shopping. So we went by Best Buy first for my camera and stuff, and now we're going here. Walking out of the mall. Angela had me carry the bags. She's mean.
And not.
She makes me carry the bag. But no, I guess it would be because I got a hat in here, and I got like 2 shirts. She's got 1 shirt. So that might be why she had me carry the bags, because I got the majority of the stuff. I guess that would make sense, right? We can still blame her, though. Anyway, so now we're headed to just a couple more stores. But that was fun. So that's the Battlefield Mall. So now we're ootin' a boot again. Ootin' a bootin'. Look at the clouds. Crazy clouds. But yeah, ootin' a bootin'. All right, y'all. New hat. It looks good. It looks good. They had these at the stadium for $50. I got it down here for $34. That's why I waited. I was like, told Angela just now, like, I'm so glad I waited. So much better. It was cheaper. It was at Raleigh House down here for $34. So, same hat, but down there they wanted $50. Ridiculous. But yeah, I kept looking and I got one cheaper. I'm happy. It's called Gabe's. I knew a guy named Gabe. I knew 2 people named Gabe. But anyway, there's one person in high school. He passed away. His name was Gabe. But then I had a supervisor whose name was Gabe. So there you go. Gabe's. I don't know what they sell, but there's Gabe's. If we go by there, I gotta show you a couple other places I found too, and that I got a kick out of. So we're going to Barnes & Noble now, And then I told her hubby wants to go there. She goes like, what's the magical word? I said, I pointed to my ring and said, hubby wants to go there. So I guess that worked. Back in the hotel, they gave us cookies. Cookies. All right. And now we are checking out the evening life. We are downtown Springfield, and they got an arcade up this way. A 1980s arcade, I think is what it's called. That might be the courthouse, I'm not sure. Alright, here we are. With the music. 1984 arcade. Alright, check it out, guys. It's like Stranger Things for reals. So like we're in Stranger Things. This is really cool. They got the couch, telephone. Oops. They got more back here. That's pretty cool. So I guess more like the Stranger Things. Yeah, more Stranger Things. That's cool. And Beetlejuice. And then there's your pinballs. This is really cool. And then more video games back here. This is all downstairs, by the way. They got more upstairs. All right, and then they got the lab back here. That's really cool. All right, y'all. We're headed out of the 1984 arcade, but it was a lot of fun. Oh, look at this. They got more Stranger Things there. And of course the Pac-Man. So this is kind of look on the inside, what we saw while we were in there. So really cool. Now we're headed back. All right, y'all. So again, this is our neck of the woods, I guess. But yeah, this is the room. This is it at night. And the only thing is, like, you can kind of hear the people on the other side, on the other room a little bit. So don't think I'm gonna do any recording or anything. I might do a little bit tonight, see if I hear anything. I've got something on my phone, I think. Let's see if I hear anything off of it, maybe. But yeah, basically I'll just have to report back with y'all if I hear anything tonight. That's about it. But right now, don't see or feel like suspicious. That's just Angela in the bathroom. Y'all, good morning, good morning, good morning. I was trying to get some of my stuff over here to work. Not having much luck, but it's okay. I'll put this stuff in my thing. Good morning, everyone. It is Wednesday. 'Tis Wednesday, and it looks nice outside. They said it's a little cool, but it should warm up here pretty soon. It looks nice. There's a bird out there, cardinal. I don't know if y'all can see it or not. He's right up in there. Female cardinal. There it goes. I'm not a very good cameraman, but there it is. All right, and we're on our way for our breakfast this morning. See how good it is. Okay, and we're down here, ready to eat. There's that. And then you can see outside. And there's our breakfast. Angela's taking it in. It looks good. Check this out. We stopped here for gas. So there's the Walmart. Here's the gas. But when you look over there, that is golf back there. So So apparently the guys can go play golf while the women shop. Or if the women are into golf, they can play golf while the men shop. Either way, I mean, they can go shopping while the other one plays golf. Alright y'all, we're here at Fantastic Caverns. I'm assuming that's the building down there. So we're about to go into a cave. Another cave. But this one we get to ride in. Alright, here we go. Fantastic Caverns.
We're going down. Take a picture. Yeah.
We're
Going in.
Here we go. Point of no return.
Can still jump out and run screaming.
Oh, wow.
Welcome to the Upside Down.
Right up here on the hill, this is Andrew. He's gonna take our picture for us. So look right up there on the hill.
Yep. So smile for me in 3, 2, 1.
4. And we're gonna head a little further in. As we do, watch your head. There's a couple of those spots. There's one right here. There's another one right after this. On the driver's side, right over here. Yeah.
So if I go this way, sorry.
Cave tours at the time. So the landowner, he needed to figure out a way to make a little extra money. But what would you grow in a cave?
Mushrooms.
Yeah, he grew those little button top mushrooms down here. Sold them at area markets, made it through the Depression that way. Mushrooms are a fungus. They don't require sunlight to grow. They like the dark and the damp. And they're pretty much the only thing that's going to grow in a cave, except for the cave itself. It's the largest area in our cave. And do you know how caves form? Any ideas?
Water.
Water. And this is a solution cave. That means it's formed by water, everything in it's made by water. So it's the right kind of rock, and this is limestone. It's very porous, lots of holes. We get water coming down from the surface and groundwater. 41 by the landowner across the street from where you drove in. He wanted running water for his house. So he got together with the cave owner at that time, and they did all their measurements and their calculations, and they figured that they'd be drilling 10 feet on the outside of that wall. It worked out very well for them, as you can see. They missed that drill bit came crashing down into the cave. So now they've got a big hole in the ceiling, and instead of pulling it out, causing more damage to the cave, they kept drilling. And they did find water about 50 feet below us in our lower level, but that's a wet weather spring down there. There's only water a couple months out of the year. It doesn't make a very good water well. So this is closed off on the surface today, but it still tells us a couple of interesting things about the cave. When this was first put in, it was cast iron black. Now we've got this white coat of calcite on here. It's becoming part of the cave. And up the ceiling, there's some tree roots hanging down. But you see those ridges that run towards the wall? Those are baby cave curtains. They started growing in 1941. So they are 85 years old and just over 3/4 of an inch. So think about that and take a look at the curtains here in front of us. Does anybody want to do the math for me? No? Well, we'll stick with very old, that covers it. We're gonna head just up here. We'll get a chance to experience the cave in its natural state, talk about some of the lighting systems used in here. This cave was first discovered in 1862. take a look down at that lower level surface through other sinkholes about 2 miles away. That is our recharge area. It recharges that groundwater. So with enough.
Let's go. That's what that first explorer's what that means.
He covered the entrance with brush, and he didn't tell anyone about it. He kept that a secret. So at that time, Missouri was a battleground state, and to either side, the Union or the Confederacy, they could have come in, taken his land, his house, all his resources, including the cave. They wanted caves, not just for storage or shelter, but because they had something they needed. They wanted caves that were rich in nitrates, and these usually found large bat populations for the bat guano, all that bat poop. We don't have a lot of bats here, so not a lot of guano. But they would have come in looking anyways, and they would have taken that soil, put it in a large vat, like this, called a leaching bath, and they'd pour water over that, over and over again, to get all the nitrates out. And that would come out the bottom as a muddy slurry, and they'd take that outside, pour it into a kettle over an open flame, and boil it down. They'd add a little wood ash, and as that water evaporated, then they'd get small white crystals forming along the bottom and the rim. And these were potassium nitrate, and you probably know it better as saltpeter. So they'd grind up that saltpeter, mix it with sulfur and charcoal. And what does that make? Do you know? Gunpowder. Yeah, gunpowder. Gunpowder was in short supply during the Civil War. Everybody wanted it. So if anyone found out John Knox had a cave on his land, they would have come in here looking for something we don't even have, probably destroying the cave in the process. So because he hid it, he actually protected his livelihood and the cave. By 1867, the war was over, and those young women could come in and explore the cave for the first time. Now,
Cool.
the auditorium, all this rock over here, all along here. At one point in time, that all used to be part of the ceiling. We call this breakdown, and what happened, the cave was full of water at one point. It got in long cracks in here. The first is its shelf, right here overhead. Broke off right there.
Oh, wow.
Second's right here. And the last is all the way up there on the ceiling.
Oh, wow.
Now, this has reached the point of stability. So this dome shape, it's very stable. We don't need to worry about it collapsing anymore. You believe me, right? Okay,
Yeah.
You guys need a little bit of help with this. You remember how slow everything grows in here. That 1 cubic inch, 100 years, that ice cube. You can always look how big all these formations are. So these have been growing a very long time, and that tells us this collapse is one of the earlier things that happened in the formation of the cave. This all fell before any of these started growing. And with all these formations, all that calcite, that breakdown, the rock has been cemented together at this point. It's one piece. It's not going anywhere either. That helps, right?
Right.
A little bit, maybe.
Maybe.
Well, the circumstances that created this, that water rising up, filling the cave all the way to the ceiling, that doesn't happen anymore. We don't get water anywhere near that ceiling leaking it. And if that ever happens again, we've got bigger issues in cave tours. We won't be down here. Everyone's good now, right?
Right.
Yeah, okay. We're gonna head on through there. And as we do, look up, you'll see the highest concentration of stalactites in the cave. Our next stop's got some of the largest and prettiest formations. It's also the first area the explorers came to when they came in. And I'm gonna show you how they would have seen that in 1867. So we're gonna leave the lights off for a minute when we get up there. When they explored in here, they used candle lanterns for light. Something like this. Just candle and tin can. It's very simple, but it directs the light. You're not being blinded by an open flame. And it protects it from any drips of water, so you don't find yourself in the dark back here. It's basically a flashlight, completely adjustable, and no batteries required. Now, I'm gonna walk the path they would have walked at that time. So try to imagine that you're one of the first people in the cave, and no one's ever been in here before. You don't know what you're going to find. And this is all the light you have to see where here, and this little candle lantern. It's a decent amount of light. It's enough to see where I'm going. Still have to watch each step. But it's not really enough to appreciate how pretty these formations really are. And even when you get right up on it, you still can't appreciate the whole thing. So they used candle lanterns in here for about 20 years before the lights were put in. And today, we see the cave like this. We call these two the twins.
Those are cool.
We're standing up in there.
Entrance.
Where the dog went in, where John went in, got his dog. That is also where those first explorers went in. They crawled through that hole as well. We don't know much about them. We know what they wrote on the wall. That's about it. We don't know what they look like. They didn't take a picture for us. And no selfies in 1827. But I do have pictures of you, our most recent explorers who've been past the caverns. And these.
Right, now we made it to the Car Museum. If y'all recognize that movie, or should I say video game, or whatever. You all know. You know. You know. You know. So they got a NASCAR here. NASCAR. And then they got the Batmobile. The original Batmobile. Or at least one of them. Look at this on the inside. Check that out. Poor mechanic. Look at him. Poor guy. Poor guy. So Ford Brewster. Angela's checking him out. And then we got 1934 Pierce Arrow. Chevy Camaro, one of my favorite cars. Here's a Studebaker. And then the Pontiac Coupe. Here's the girl's Ghostbuster car. Gotta check it out. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Pretty cool. Pretty cool. Not bad, not bad. So there's that one. The Crosley. Look at all these. These are really neat. Speedster. Crystal White Eagle. That one's really cool. Model G. Model G. As well. For Model A. And the Model T. Alright. I got that one. The Hudson Commodore. I like this car. It's like a slick gangster car almost. I like it. I like how it just looks so slick. Then you got this one, the Chrysler Woody. And on back rear, see what we got. We got a Diamond T. And a Ford Bronco. Sunbeam Tiger. Elvis TA21. Jaguar Mark IV. And then we have the DeLorean. Back to the Future. The DeLorean. Now we gotta come up to the DeLorean. So cool. All right, then we got the Ferrari, 1983 Ferrari. So Ford versus Ferrari. A Porsche. Coca-Cola. BMW. Pantura. And then this one, Morgan Ariel. Morgan +4. Ooh, that one's slick too. Austin Healey Mark III. That one's pretty slick. Triumph TR6. Oh, I like this one. Triumph TR36. That was not too bad either. Mega convertible. MGA convertible. This one. We have the Roadster. 1951 Allard K2. Look at that wood ornament. The Buick Country Club Coupe. Oh, they got more back there yet. There's more back there even. Buick Skylark. Like it needs some work. Like they've started doing some work on it. Hudson Speedster Wrath. It's a Hudson truck. Ford M1. And Thunderbird. Chevy Corvette. The Cobra. Ford Cobra. And that's a 2003. (2003) 1965. However you want to take that. And go back down the line. 1954 Jaguar. 1957 Jaguar. 1958 Jaguar. 1969 Jaguar. And 1974 Jaguar. Pretty cool. Alright, taking a look at it here. Look at that. 2005 Thunderbird. Like they're still working on that one. That's cool. I like that. That's cool. And down the line through here, got the Cadillac. Got this car here. Got this car here. Buick Century. Packard Felix 77. Another Packard Super 8. Pontiac Bonneville. I like that. Cadillac. Accord model. Rolls Royce. Both of these are Rolls Royces. Come up here again. Gotta get this dude. This Coca-Cola thing. Three-wheeler. Coca-Cola three-wheeler. Alright, and then come back here. There's another three-wheeler that I missed. This one right here. I believe this one is a Critolan? Sounds about right. I'm going with it. That's pretty cool. Alright, this one is a Horse. Pretty cool. We got this Jeep. And then, I think that's a Stinger. Nope, Dodge Viper. Oh, this is a Land Rover. Not a Jeep, a Land Rover. Okay, and this is inside the NASCAR. Looking inside the NASCAR. There you go. Over here, there's Buds. Brewery there. We just saw Mother's Brewery. There's a distillery. Apparently they like beer. Crash Champions. So maybe they have car
Sports
crashes
Hall
too.
of Fame.
Sports Hall of Fame. They got a bump ahead. A bump. Oh, there's stuff downtown. The steakhouse. Downtown club.
Speed bump, y'all.
Dude on a bike. Try not to get everybody's license plates. The lights downtown. The lights that light up at night. Look at the painting on that building. That black one. Yeah, some paintings on that one. And down there they got like the black cat. Anyway,
Cat in the Hat.
Cat in the Hat. That's there's a hotel, and I'm not sure who has that hat.
It looks like it's a theater, I think.
Oh, it's a theater.
Stop sign. Turn right.
Interesting. Jimmy Jones.
Good sandwiches, though.
Picklemans. So I'm assuming you can get pickles there. I got your pickle.
Yeah, I got your pickle right here.
Hey, y'all. We're eating at Picklemans. The smile. Mine's a barbecue, or pulled pork, and then hers is a BLC.
BLTC.
BLTC, whatever. But anyway, and we're sharing the chips. All right, y'all. We're at Wilson's Creek Battlefield. Checking this out now. Terrible with the camera. But yeah, we're here. All right, so here's stop number 1, Scolin's. Yeah, that dude's section. So there you go. There's one. All right, this is actually stop number 1. This is Gibson's Mill. Meal? Hell, why not? Okay, so there we go. So this is the mill. The house should be up over here somewhere. Oh, I guess you gotta take the trail to the house.
To that house, but we were wanting to do the Ray house.
Oh, that's the one that's open?
Yeah, that's
okay.
the one he said that's open.
Okay, so the house, the other house would be back up this way, if it's still up. I'm not sure if it is or not. Anyway, there's that. So the mill and house, John Gibson once did the valley along Wilson's Creek. The day before the battle, the Gibson family and their neighbors found themselves surrounded by more than 12,000 Confederate soldiers whose camps extended 2 miles south of the creek. The Gibsons made their living by grinding corn, oats, and flour, and by carting wool. When the cannon fire began to roar on the morning of August the 10th, they took refuge in their cellar. Today, the house and mill are gone, so they are not there anymore. So we just got an idea of where they're at. They would have been up and around this tree line. But the foundation ruins are visible. Okay, so again, if we walked up in there, you'd find their foundation somewhere. But like I said, we can assume their property would be right around this, right around where we're standing. It would be part of their property, and I'm assuming Their houses would be just back that way beyond the tree line. 1 mile loop begins the trail. Beginning here leads to the sites of the mill and the house down along. Yeah, so if you follow that trail, it'd just be down through right up here through that tree line just before you get to the creek. But anyway, we're on our way now to Ray's house. So I guess he got raided first. Now we're on our way to Ray's house. All right, so now we made it to the other house. Morning disrupted. Oh, there.
in terms of the structure. The furnishings and things like that are period pieces. They're not original to the house, but they are original to the time period. This has been the children's room. At the time of the battle, they had 9 children in the home with their blended family. So you can imagine 9 kids sleeping in here. Well, put 4 of them.
If it's 7, 8.
Huh?
Trundle bed.
Trundle bed, that would be helpful. That's helpful. That's still not an easy life. This is your 19th century box spring right here. Heard the phrase sleep tight? It's a rope key. Every night before you go to bed, you gotta tighten up the ropes, otherwise your butt's gonna be on the floor in the morning. It is similar in style and similar in structure, but it would not have been placed here. This bed would likely be in that corner or that corner. Why is that? Well, I just told you what the mattresses are filled with.
Right, so you want it away from the window.
Keep it away from the fire source.
That too.
But it get cold in January. Here's your central heat. Take the coal from the fire, throw it in there, throw it under your bed, let the radiation heat come up through your mattress. Mr. Ray was a postmaster in addition to being a farmer. And this is his home office. Yes, he worked from home. Which means he also knew how to read and write. Unfortunately, he left no writing about the battle. None. All of the information about the Ray family and their actions during the course of the battle came from their daughter Olivia in the 1930s. She's remembering, because she was 6 years old at the time. And I don't know about you, but I wasn't 6 at the time, I was 9. But there's always one thing in your childhood that you always remember and never forget and pass it on as you live, especially when you get older with grandkids and stuff. You want to tell them the tale of the olden times. Well, that's what she was doing. And if you're a farmhand, you're up at 3 in the morning. I think I'd rather sleep where I'm working than to walk at 3 in the morning from my house 2 miles away. But at any rate, at the time of the battle, like I said, they all gathered in the cellar, and right there is the cellar.
Oh, wow.
And it's about 5 feet tall.
That's what they went into.
Yeah, you know the old saying, if you saw sausage being made, you would never ever eat. Question?
There might be bullet holes right there. They got covered up later. Or some of them might be. That's right. Never mind. Alright. Arkansas battery. So in the opening moments of the battle, Union infantry swept Southern infantry, running 2 camps, crashed defenses. Okay. Radio. So this is where the 2 collided, I guess. Of Battle Hill. So Battle Hill was just right up here somewheres. Okay, so we were there, the Ray house. Now we're here, where the cornfield would be.
No, we're here.
Oh, I'm sorry. So the cornfield was there. I lied. So there's where the battery was coming through. I'm guessing this is the Union. Am I right?
No, the Union is blue and the Confederate is red.
The blue is the water. Oh, right up there. Okay, so yeah, so this is part of the south. Okay, I'm with you now. And there's Price. And that's where we're here. So that's where those two met together, I guess, before, while the North was coming down to intercept. All right, so now we're on to the next. All right, and here is Siegler's attack. So is he the North, or does it show?
It doesn't show on here.
All right, well, anyway, there he is. It looks like it's Union to me from what I can tell here from the photo. I'll look it up more maybe at the hotel. There's Siegler's attacks. I'm assuming that was where the North was coming in. But anyway, there's that. So he was up here. I'm assuming the cornfield that you're seeing now probably wasn't up here then. But at any rate, now we're moving on. A quick correction, this is Sharp's cornfield. So this was a cornfield, but this was not, this was Sharp's cornfield. So there you go. So this is part of the attack. All right, now we're at Siegel's column. And it said Siegel's final position too. Or it said that when we were coming in. So the tour. And then Ray's house. Reed's battery. Sharp's cornfield where we were at. And now we are here where Siegel's column is coming through. So this will be his final position. So, because it looks like the south, so Blado's battery is about to meet him head on up here. Union strategy. Your Wilson's click called for a 2 prolonged surprise attack. General Lyon's main column with about 4,000 men would strike Confederate camps from the north. Siegel's brigade of 1,200 troops would attack from the south. The Confederate army would be crushed between the converging columns. The plan seemed effective at first, but the Union forces were outnumbered and poor communications between Lyon and Siegel. So Lyon was down here, Siegel's up here, so they didn't communicate very well between the creek. And it became difficult to coordinate the attack. Moving up the hill behind you. Okay, so this is the hill behind us. So moving up the hill behind you, a line of advanced rebels that the Federals mistook for reinforcements. The gray-clad 1st Ohio charged and overran Siegel's position. Okay, so we have Reed's battery coming from here, and you got Plateau's battery coming from here. So it sounds like, I want to say Plateau, because we are, but anyway, because I'm thinking that would be behind us, would be Plateau. But anyway, so that brigade, he thought it was part of the north, it was part of the south, so they were firing at him, and he thought they were friendlies. That didn't make matters any easier for him, so he was overtaken pretty easily, probably. I wouldn't say pretty easily, but eventually because he did end up retreating, as shown here, so. And then, now we're on our way, I think, to the Bloody Hill. All right, I believe this is Goober's battery. Goober, are you a goober? This might be a good thing, so let's see here. So from this spot, you can imagine the challenge which faced the Confederate army. Further up the hill in front of you, so up the hill, right up here, over 4,000 Union soldiers and 10 pieces of artillery are positioned to repulse any Southern effort to regain the high ground. On a hot spot and humid summer day, the undaunted Confederates mounted charge up the hill. To support the Southern infantry, the battery of Captain Henry Goober, 6th Division Missouri State Guard, was assigned to this location within musket range of enemy cavalry and infantry. With this 4-gun battery pounded shell and canister into the Federals' line during the Confederates' third and final charge. This assault, with a sum of 6,000 soldiers, was characterized by Union Commander Samuel Sargent as the fiercest and most bloody engagement of the day. So yeah, so he had, what did I say, 4-gun battery. So here's your 4-gun battery. You've got one here, and you got the other 3 there. So that's what you got, and you are fending off Union soldiers. They're coming at you, who are coming, I believe, up this hill. So they're coming up that hill right here in front of us. So that's an interesting feat, especially considering that it probably wasn't mowed like it is today. So you probably had tall grass. You're in the middle of August, so it's hot. If you know anything about Missouri, it's hot. So you probably have vultures like these flying around. Well, that's a hawk. No, that's turkey vulture. So you got vultures like this flying around too, waiting on a carcass to take with it. So there you go. That sums it up, and you're still pounding away, hoping that you become that vulture's next lunch. But really cool. Really cool. Alright, so here we are. Front action. So this is part of the Bloody Hill. We're on the Confederate positions here. This is what it's showing. We're at the Confederate positions. So the north would be coming right where our cars are at, back that way. They're like 1,000 yards out from where we're at. Oh, we're here. So we're where the north is. I am sorry. I can't read. So we are here. So it's like we are where George Suka was the first pup to graduate. Okay. Well, anyway, so it looks like Lucas' men are coming up here, so we're where he is. So we're here. Confederates are out here. Because we already seen where the one Confederates were winning. Now we're on the other side. On this high ground, Saluka's section found their view enhanced, cannons range increased, removed from the rest of Captain Toten's battery, and the 2 cannons of the section of the infantry protecting the Union's right flank. This type of cannon is a howitzer. It is designed to lob exploding projectiles at the enemy, firing shell and case shot shrapnel. The range of little over 1,000 yards. Canister would be placed at the close range charging infantry and cavalry. Okay, so basically that's what they're talking about. This would be your canister shot. So they would have your regular shell, I believe, is this one. It's like a big spear, but your shrapnel would be like this. So when it's fired, all this stuff right on the inside would scatter out. So actually, these were a lot more dangerous than the big ball itself. You could take out a lot more people with this because you could take out legs, arms, you know, various body parts, whatever. So there's gunners use 3 types of ammunition to drive the enemy back. In all, this section fired 240 rounds, less than 5 hours of fighting. So he is shooting the north with his, the south. He's shooting the Confederates with his range. I'm gonna get all this right eventually, guys. All right, then we got another spot over there. Angela's already walking over there. She's called me a slow old man, I guess. I'm going. It's off the trail. There's a thing over there too. It just says trail. I'm guessing people just kind of walk the trail. I'm not gonna walk the trail, guys, so you're on your own. I'm just hitting these spots. We are tired from all the other walking we've already done today. But at any rate, taking a stand for Missouri. While Lyon's men are better armed and equipped, there are too few of them. The Southern Army is expected to stiff resistance. Couple the weight of twice the number of men saw Lyon's advance forced to defense, taking advantage of the high ground, adjusting positions to Southern thrust. Union soldiers valiantly fought a total of 5 hours. So this was a 5-hour battle, losing a quarter of their number. You are standing near the center of the Union line. On these grass slopes dotted the oak trees, and second battle of the Civil War was fought, and the first Union general to be killed in combat died here. So General Nathan Lyon, I'm assuming, commanded the army. He hoped for a surprise attack. Sleepy coming at spread out underneath the hill in the advance. I'm assuming he's the one that died right about here. So, but there you go. This is where the North was standing at the time and firing. I guess the cannons probably would have been back there where I was reading that. At first, he probably drove them up here because you kind of want those pretty close to your front lines. Meanwhile, the South are down the hill, working their way up. But they were able to advance the North because the North did not have enough men. So, and their surprise didn't work out the way they wanted it to because of miscommunication. So that miscommunication ended up being priced very costly for one general. So as a show, I guess you might want to know what your other generals are doing at all times. But at any rate, and it is beautiful out here too, by the way. So, but there you go. That is what you know. All right, and then stop 8 of 8. Battle is beginning and end. All right, so the North spur of Bloody Hill saw the beginning and end of the battle. In the days preceding the fight, the field before you was the camp of 1,200 cavalrymen Colin James Cawthwell's Missouri State Brigade, which I believe is still the South. At the dawn of August 10th, word of the Union's Army's approach from the north reached this camp. So the surprise already didn't work because they already knew they were coming. Colin Colworth ordered a regiment to advance and contact the enemy. At the end of the field to your left, the regiment halted and formed a line of battle. Okay. Lyon's artillery unlimbered and opened fire while over 1,200 Union infantry charged. Faced with this onslaught, Southerners retreated. Pushing aside further resistance on the north slope of the Bloody Hill, Lyon soon forced the Confederates over the crest and down the hill's south slope. So at first he was winning this battle, but then, as we know, he failed. With the Federals now in control of this area, a Union Field Hospital was established in the ravine to your right. Okay, so that would have been off to my right, which I'm assuming is right where that trail continues. That would have been their hospital. Anyway, with General Lyon's death about 9:30 a.m., so because he died during this battle, Major Samuel Sturgis assumed command of the army. By 11 a.m., with ammunition running low and Sigel's column routed, because, like I said, there's miscommunication. I think that's what they're talking about anyway. Sturgis decided to withdraw to Springfield. So he went on to Springfield. Sturgis placed his rear guard with his spur of Bloody Hill and marched his army off the battlefield. Once the column had passed, the rear guard fell into line. The Battle of Wilson Creek was over. So they ended up retreating and lost the battle. Like I said, partly because they lost their general early in the battle, and the other part because the two sides of the North lost communication with each other over the creek. One didn't know what the other one was doing, and they were kind of outflanked. So, because as we read too, they were planning on a surprise, and it turns out the South already found out about their said surprise. So there you go. That is the Battle of Wilson's Creek. But it ended up being one of the bloodiest battles in U.S. history. I believe, actually, I'd have to look it up to be sure, but I think actually more people died here on this battle than they did at Gettysburg, but I'm not sure on that, so don't quote me on it. I do know that there were more soldiers that died on the Kansas and Missouri side of the war than Gettysburg. But anyway, that's a story for another day. But very beautiful land out here. So, and we're moving on. So we'll see ya. On to the rest of our honeymoon. What's left of it. Angela talked me into this movie for the night. It's The Birdcage with Robin Williams. I've never seen it, so don't make fun of me. And I got this from Nothing But Cakes. It is the strawberry cheesecake swirl. Take a picture of that for the family. All right, y'all. So, got this. I don't know if y'all can see this or not. Let me try this. There you go. So, see if y'all can see what we see. There's nothing in here. I've tried this throughout the night tonight. There's nothing in here. There's nothing that's coming up on this. That's just my reflection. Pay no mind to it. But yeah, there's nothing in here. Like Angela's sleeping in the bed right now. If I get her, that's all you're gonna get. So yeah, that's it. There's like nothing. Like that's the chair. Chair set room temperature. There's nothing. So there's that. And then while I was watching my movie earlier, I hear ruffling and people walking back and forth out here. And then one other thing we've noticed is, as far as, you know, investigation goes, the walls are kind of thin. Not paper thin. I mean, you can't hear a lot of this stuff, but you can hear a little bit. Like if they have the TV going in the adjacent room, you can kind of hear it a little bit. If they're talking a little loud, you can kind of hear it. If they're talking soft like I am right now, they can't hear me. But if I start talking really loud, they can hear me. So there's that. Right now we just got this on just so for background noise. But yeah, just give you guys a heads up. It's like if I turn this off right now, just to give you guys a heads up, I can probably just turn it on mute. There we go. So if I turn it on mute right now, and then I just do this. Okay, so now everything in the room is dark. So like this is all you get as far as that goes. Now you can hear, y'all can't right now, but in this room in particular, like you can hear like street noise outside every now and then from the windows. So you can still hear people walking on the outside from time to time. It's quiet now though. I don't hear anybody now. That, by the way, if you're wondering, is just my camera adjusting, but there's nobody on the other side of that door, so. But yeah, that's all that you're gonna get. There's nothing more, nothing less. As I said, a lot of it's just people moving around, shuffling. I think they got like the same thermostat for all the rooms, I'm not sure. So people might be adjusting the thermostats, I don't know. Like I said, about 10:30, 11 o'clock, everything kind of cooled down. Nobody's, haven't heard anything since, so I'm assuming it's just people going into their rooms or, you know, hibernating for the night, so to speak. But let's see here. We can try this one more time. And like I said, I did my digital recorder. So far, what came up last night on my digital recorder, I didn't hear anything, but I'm still gonna keep reviewing it. Okay, so now that we've got the light off, this is what we've got. Again, same thing. There's nothing out of the ordinary at all. Like if we turn to the TV, there you got that, but outside of that, there's nothing. Of course, you're gonna have light from that, from the lamp. But I mean, there's nothing. So, like, you got fluctuations there with that. There you go. Now you all can see what I see. But yeah, there's like nothing. Like I said, I've been recording all night, so I'm not saying that there isn't. I'm not saying that this place is not haunted, but I'm saying that we've never experienced any activity. So, I mean, right now, last couple of nights, it's been quiet. It's just been a normal room. I think the wallpaper's a little loud. Kind of gets some getting used to as far as sleeping goes, but outside of that, I mean, we even got a fan, so it kind of helps sleep in here. Angela has no trouble sleeping, so I said I don't see anything out of the ordinary. So with that, I'm going to bed, but if I hear anything, I'll let y'all know in the morning. Morning, everybody. It is Friday. It is also my birthday. So, I am now officially 40. I know. It's crazy. I don't like it. But at any rate, we survived. I don't think I ever heard a ghost, so we're good. We're good. Well, you know what I mean. It would have been nice, but yeah, I don't. I'm not saying that this place is not haunted. I'm just saying that we never experienced any paranormal activity that I'm aware of. I mean, the most paranormal, I guess, would have been just people walking out and about out in the hall. You know, right around 10:30 last night. But then after about 10:30, never heard anybody anymore. It was quiet. This room was quiet. Never had anything in here. So, I mean, and as you all seen, I used the thermal. Didn't have anything off of it. I didn't have anything that I'm aware of on my digital recorder, so I mean, it's just been quiet. So, I mean, I'll look over my digital recorder again when I get home later on, but gave you all word back, but I didn't. As far as I know, I didn't hear anything. So, other than Angela snoring from time to time, I heard nothing. Oh, and me coughing late last night. I had a coughing attack, but it wasn't paranormal. I don't know if you guys have ever had that, but basically it was like, because I had bacon for breakfast yesterday morning. Really good bacon, by the way. And somehow or another, I guess, bacon grease. I was coughing up bacon grease. I don't know why. But at any rate, it woke me up. So, there you go. But don't worry, I'm better now. Nothing to panic about. I'm not sick, so. And like I said, we had a good night's sleep. I like that fan. That fan is awesome. But yeah, we had a good night's sleep, and we're gonna get ready for breakfast. Right, and we officially made it back home. We are home again. We are home again. And celebrating my birthday. Panther is already part of the welcoming committee, I think. I think he's welcoming me home. Either that or you want some of this. Panther.
Mayor Q says the city will take it up in committee on Tuesday.
Yeah, I think he wants some of that. All right, y'all. So, starting off right, got some happy birthday. I drank half of it already, but got my Starbucks happy birthday free drink. So now I'm on my way to McDonald's and get my free fries. Oh yeah. All right, and I got my fries. Birthday fries.
Video is called Catfish.
I know it's
40th.
Oh, did you face?
All right, y'all. So we made it back from Warrensburg. We got Daisy back first off. We went to Lamont, got her back, celebrated my birthday. Then we went to Warrensburg, celebrated my birthday. Got some really cool cards. So that one's from Erlen. So that's what it says on the front. Then you open it up. That was pretty cool. And then from Erlen's parents, I got this. So, and that's not all. I got some stuff from my parents, but from them, I got Firehouse Sub, and we got Starbucks, and I'll show you guys, because y'all seen my birthday cake, of course, and they paid for the food, but yeah, my parents, I got this from my parents for my birthday, and my sister gave me these, which is pretty cool. I didn't know they had a Batman, Deadpool, so that's pretty cool. Marvel and DC, so 1 and 2, that's really cool. I'll have to check them out later. That's really cool. I like that. So, yeah, pretty good birthday, I would say. And not a bad way to turn 40. So, it goes to show you can be 40 and still a nerd. I'm still a nerd. Very much so. Very much so. Very much so. Very, very much so. So, there you go. But on that note, I'm going to end the video. Oh, before I do, some things to look out for coming up soon is, first off, the weekend is not over yet. I'm ending this on a Friday night, so of course we're going into Saturday tomorrow. We got some plans for tomorrow. I believe we got a little bit of plans on Sunday, some things to do. Plus, I still got some shirts to make on my Cricut, so be on the lookout for that on the next video. And I got a taste test, because I did go out and buy the new Oreos. So that will be on the next taste test. Yeah, and I did watch tonight with Martha Eve Maynor. We watched Mortal Kombat 2. So that was a really good movie, by the way. I'm just going to give you guys a quick movie review of that, and I'm going to end the video. But yeah, it was really good. I enjoyed it. I would still say that my favorite movie of the month that Angela and I went to go see out of these 3 movies was still Michael. The Michael Jackson movie was probably my favorite. That was really good. Mortal Kombat would probably be a close second, though. Well, not really a close second, but it would be a second place, nevertheless. I liked it. It was really good. I think they stayed true to the video game, which is what I was hoping on. The only problem is I don't really know how you make a really good storyline from that video game exactly, but I think they did the best that they could with what they had. So, I mean, it still is a really good story. I mean, it's still not a bad storyline as far as that goes. Still a good movie. It's still, like I said, and that's the best part about it is it still holds true, I think anyway, to the video game. So, the characters hold true to what they represent. That was the most important thing, I think. So I enjoyed it for that reason, and yeah, we had a good time. And I think the next movie that we're probably going to go out to see, unless something changes anyway, or I forgot a movie, will probably be The Mandalorian. But like I said, unless there's another movie that I forgot about, and it could be. But yeah, I think Mando might be the next one. But at any rate, we had a lot of fun. We got plans for tomorrow yet. I can't remember. We might have a few plans for Sunday. I'm not sure. But at any rate, you're along for the ride. Definitely have some cleaning and laundry to do on this end, which y'all don't have to watch us do. And something I was thinking. Oh, yeah, my Cricut. So I got that to do. I'm probably working on this upcoming week. So, and then the next video too, I believe we'll be going out and doing a book review type thing. So we got the book club meeting, I believe, this upcoming Thursday. So that should be on the next video as well. So, yeah. So I won't be doing any questions on this video. No questions on this one because, yeah, I figured with the vacation and everything, I mean, you're getting a lot on this one. So hopefully I stay within my half an hour to an hour thing. I hope I didn't go over, but if I did, I did. But at any rate, that's all I got for y'all. That's pretty much it in a nutshell. Yeah, I can't think of anything else that I need to go over for next week. But yeah, should be, for the next video, other than just telling you that. That, and it should be a good one. On that note, that's all I got for y'all. I'll see y'all. Should see y'all in the next video. So, bye for now.